Hey, what's up? It's Tati. Yes, I am late with the review. However, I did not think anybody really cared about me reviewing the PLEs. Now, I did stop reviewing them since Collision had started, and I still watch them. I just don't talk about them because I thought it would be too much for me to have to review two shows on the same night. So, I don't mind doing it or whatnot. So, I guess I will just have the PLEs review on Sundays and do Collision on Saturdays. Now, this was a very interesting pay-per-view. There was only 5 matches, but I do think with it being almost 3 hours, WWE really did use their time wisely with the timing for the pay-per-views, and then with all those ads in between. And oh my God, I'm sick of seeing Pizza Hut just from watching that pay-per-view. I think they overdid it with the advertisement, but either way, I did enjoy this pay-per-view. So let's go into the details about what happened. First match of the night, we had Jey Uso and my nightmare, Cody Rhodes, versus Finn Balor and the beautiful Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. Now, right off the bat, I can see here that Finn and Damian, they definitely have some experience together, obviously being part of the same stable and being tag champions for about a month now. Now, we do also have Jey and Cody not having much experience in the ring as a team other than on SmackDown the other day. And they pretty much had to outsmart their opponents and outperform them. So I felt like at some cases, Finn and Damian especially, was just looking like a dumbass during this match. Now, we obviously cannot have any Judgment Day members in the ring without having the rest of the crew to get involved. So we do have Rhea coming out, Dom coming out. We even have JD come out. Now, my favorite part of this match, though, we do have a few minutes of Cody and Finn in the ring, and I really like them. They have really great chemistry, and I was like, you know what? If this was a singles match, I would not mind seeing just these two guys. But obviously, we have other plans. Now, when Rhea comes out, she is face to face with Jey Uso, and there is this sexual tension that is just like felt throughout the whole arena. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on here, but I would definitely love to join you two. That is a distraction for Jey with her being there ringside. And then from there, we had got all 4 guys in the ring. And the camera work is doing the absolute most from going from camera A to camera B, camera A to camera B. And I'm just like, whoa, I cannot concentrate with the cameras just going back and forth so quickly. I hate shit like that. It's just really, really annoying. Now, we do have Rhea, who takes the briefcase and hits Jey with it, and that is not even enough for him to stay down for a pin. Now, we move on, and we have Cody Rhodes outside the ring with Damian Priest. They are on the announce table. And here comes JD accidentally hitting Damian with the briefcase, and then Cody Rhodes go for a crossroads onto the announce table, and he basically leaves Damian for dead over there, and he goes get tagged into the match. And he go ahead and hits a crossroads onto Finn Balor, and they take the win. I was really surprised about this, and I'm going to tell you why. Not because they pretty much just won the belts at Payback like a little over a month ago. And what really dinged this for me was that Dominic, he obviously had that match at No Mercy with Trick, and Trick won. And Trick probably didn't get a chance to take a picture with the damn title, and he already had to drop it back to Dom. I thought that happened because maybe WWE kind of regretted the decision and they wanted to take Judgment Day as a whole to another level. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because really I do feel like one of the big issues with pro wrestling is heel stables not being able to truly gain so much power that you have no choice but to respect them. And right now things are in the middle when it comes to Judgment Day between the fans. Now, If it were me, I would not have the Judgment Day drop these titles at Fastlane. I would have kept it on them for a little longer, made them a even more stronger, hated stable, and then somewhere down the line end up having them drop those titles. I don't know if it's to Cody and Jay, but to somebody else at some point, especially when Damian is ready to cash in that briefcase. God knows when that's happening. But I really felt disappointed with that happening. I just feel like it was way too soon. But it is Monday, and on Raw, we did get informed that Finn and Damian are going to have a rematch next week. And to be honest, I really feel like there's no point if they're not going to end up winning those titles back. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even give it back to them. They already took it. I don't like the hot potato shit going on. So if that's the case, if y'all just going to give it right back to them, just don't give it them at all. Up next, we had Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Rey and Escobar. And the third member doesn't show up when they come out. Everybody's wondering, where is the third member? Who's the third member? Come on, we already knew exactly who it was going to be. Now, obviously, we do have it as a handicap match at that point, 2 against 3. And Rey is getting a manhandled. Like, Rey, you could have called this whole thing off and just stayed home instead of getting a beat down. Now, Escobar is there, but he barely's in it. After he gets thrown against the barricade, we don't see him for a little bit. And Rey's getting his ass handed to him the whole time. And every few seconds, I'm like, all right, well, Carlito's going to come out at some point. And no, and it just feels like the match was kind of dragged on. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't give a damn if Bobby's team takes the win. I'm kind of getting bored with this. Now, yes, Carlito just come out, and he is that third member. And 2 minutes later, if that, he ends up taking the win for his team with a backstabber onto Montez Ford. And I'm just like, this is not necessarily worth the wait. Personally, I think he should have either started the match off with his team when the bell rung, or he should have come in way earlier in the match so we can actually see something from him. We barely get to see anything from him in that like 2 minutes. It was just a sudden burst of energy when he came into the match, and everyone felt alive, especially Escobar, who rose from the dead and got involved. And I'm just like, I don't know, something about this just wasn't really fun. They should have had Carlito come out at least, you know, halfway through the match so we can at least see him in action for a little bit. So now they're saying that Carlito has a contract and he'll be on SmackDown moving forward. I'm not 100% sure if that is the case, but yeah, I would have did this match much differently. So after that match, we do get pizza delivered to Corey and Cole. And at first I'm like, oh, if I see another Pizza Hut advertisement again, I am just going to scream. But then they open the box and they got wings and cheesy bread and pizza and all that stuff in there. And I am just feeling so hungry by seeing all this. But at the same time, I'm over it. Now, they also do show from earlier that night when Jade Cargill showed up at Fastlane. That was during the pre-show. And she looked like she ready to fight. She looked like she in gear and everything until we had a wide shot and she had on some like Beyonce boots on. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I kept thinking maybe they might surprise us with another match since it was only 5 matches. But that actually doesn't end up happening. Now, up next, we do have a triple threat match for the women's title. And I actually enjoyed this match. Up next, we have the women's title on the line. Io Sky versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. And I'll be the first person to tell you that I am over Charlotte. Like, I really didn't feel like it was necessary for her to be here. It just seems like lately she's just been thrown into other situations with other people. And for me, I just don't like it at all. Now, we do have here, right off the bat, Asuka spits the green mist into Charlotte's face. So she's out the match for a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I can dig it. I'm cool with that. So we get Io and Asuka for quite some time before Charlotte gets back into the match. And when she gets back, it kind of feels like we don't really need her. We're enjoying what we're getting with Asuka and Io. So for me, it was like, you're kind of bringing the match down for me a little bit. She's a great performer or whatever, but kind of forgot about her for a little bit. Now, at this point, Asuka and Io, they pretty much kind of team up to get rid of a common enemy. And honestly, this is a good approach because they can get rid of her and go back with just the two of them. Now, we got Asuka, who has Io in a position for a German. And out the blue, here is Charlotte, top rope, going for a crossbody onto both of these girls. And she lands so sloppy, and it just looks really bad. Now, we also have another part where Charlotte applies a Boston Crab onto Asuka. And she's tall and she's slender. And the way she put it on just look like she's playing with Asuka. Like, she really has to, hold on to the legs, but also bring her body down with it too in order to apply pressure onto Asuka's back. It looked like she just wasn't doing anything with her at all. And they even mentioned that in commentary too, when I was like, okay, somebody agrees with me, because it looked like she's not doing a damn thing with her. Now, it looks like because I don't like Charlotte like that I'm just calling out all her little flaws. But honestly, I really feel like if you're going to be doing moves like this, you got to be able to execute it really, really well. These cameras pick up everything. So now we have even Bailey coming out. And I'm like, hold on, Bailey. Didn't Io tell you not to bring your ass out here? She said stay in the back. Now, Bailey comes and she's really trying to make sure that, Io ends up retaining her title because she doesn't have to get pinned. She doesn't have to tap out. Any of the other girls could end up winning without her even having to be in the finish. So she's there trying to help her. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe she might fuck things up for her. So this is end up helping her being there, kind of. So we have Asuka and Charlotte in the ring, and Charlotte has applied the figure 8. Asuka is looking like she's about to tap out at any minute. So here comes Bailey. She is distracting the referee, just talking, like not even doing anything. First of all, it's no DQ. Bailey could have gotten in the ring and broke it up herself if she wanted to, but instead she's talking into the referee's ear and the referee's not paying attention. Now, here comes Io, who does a moonsault from the top rope onto Charlotte, so that breaks the figure 8. Ref counts 1, 2, 3. She retains the title. And here's Michael Cole on commentary saying, oh, this was a good thing that Bailey was there to distract the referee because Asuka tapped. And I'm like, where did Asuka tap? I didn't see that. You guys, I played this back 3 times just to see what I saw. And based off where the camera angle was at, she was like hitting on Charlotte's leg so she can break the hold. And for whatever reason, Cole is saying that that was tapping. It honestly does not look like tapping, or maybe because of the way the camera was positioned, maybe she did tap. And for those of us at home who are watching, we could not tell that that was a tap. But either way, it didn't really look to me that Bailey did something to actually help, because it didn't look like Asuka had tapped. Now after this, Io is delighted that Bailey was there. They celebrate. And then we have all of Damage Control celebrating together. And I'm kind of like, okay, I enjoyed this match. But as far as Asuka tapping, I didn't see that. Next, we have Pat McAfee, who comes out. And honestly, I didn't care, so skip. So next match, we do have John Cena and LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. And Uncle Paul looks stressed the fuck out from this whole Bloodline storyline, that he looks so much older. He is 100% fully gray, and I am just like staring. I'm just like, damn, this storyline has aged you, but I totally understand. This storyline has been stressing the rest of us out too. Now, to start off this match, we have Jimmy and John Cena starting off, but John Cena actually wants Solo in the ring, so we do end up getting Solo and John Cena. You guys, Cena was in the ring for the longest. They would not let him get anywhere near LA Knight, and the fans, they are just over it at this point. The whole time, calling for LA Knight. They want him to get tagged in, and they're making sure that John Cena does not get to that side of the ring. Now, to be honest, John Cena, he getting paid a lot of money to be in this match, to take a beat down. And I'm just like, whoa, so Cena, you're not even going to fight back or anything? Like, they were literally whooping his ass throughout the whole thing. Then out of the blue, he gets the strength, whatever strength is left in him, and he hits an attitude adjustment onto Jimmy. But that's not even enough for him to get his ass up or at least crawl over to LA Knight. We still get him in the ring. And at this point, I'm kind of bored. I want LA Knight to get in this. It just seems like this is just Jimmy and Solo pretty much beating up John Cena in a handicap match. And I just want there to be a change in this match. Now, he finally does end up tagging LA Knight, and everybody and their mama are obviously happy about it. He's over as fuck right now, and rightfully so. Now, he comes in with a lot of energy, and suddenly, everybody has energy in this match, and I'm liking that. Things picked up towards the end. That's what usually ends up happening. Now, he does end up taking the win for his team with a blunt force trauma. However, before that, we do get a 5-knuckle shuffle from John Cena. And when Cole called that move vintage, I was like, holy shit, how old am I? I never thought that this move would actually be called vintage. It seems like it wasn't that long ago that we saw John Cena first come to WWE. And it's just like, damn, all this time really passed by? Anyway, LA Knight, John Cena takes the win. And I'm going to be honest. John Cena, remember the feud that he had with The Rock and all that, saying all this shit about, oh, you don't care about the WWE universe. You just here to make a couple of bucks or whatever. That's the same shit you're doing now. Everything you said to The Rock in your feud is the same thing you're doing now. You're only here because of the whole strike situation. But let's not forget, The Rock was here a couple of weeks ago for the same reason too. And WWE has nothing to do with that. So if you need some money, they're definitely going to pay up right there and then. So I can understand probably a financial situation. You would think that John Cena probably got a whole bunch of money in the bank. But he's doing this, and he's only going to do this up until the strike is over. And he actually does confirm this at the interview at the end of the show. So for me, it's just like, all right, I guess we'll just take what we can while we still have him. But I wish this was either a situation where he could just put his whole heart and soul into it. Because I just really feel like, hey, I'm here just to take a beat down for some money. And that kind of put a little bit of a damper onto the match. And I get it. We're playing off a storyline. We're trying to give a lot of hype and build to LA Knight. But I just wish there was much more of an interaction from John Cena in this match. Either way, it was cool. And LA Knight, I'm happy for you. You're finally getting your flowers. All right, you guys, before I get into the main event, I have to say this. The Trinidadian man that be in the front row with a Trinidadian flag and a Trinidadian shirt, I wish I was you. I wish I could just be going to all these shows and front row every single time. Oh my God, I am so jealous. Anyway, let's get into the main event. We had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is a last standing match. So obviously, whoever is the last man standing wins the match. Obviously, with there being already 4 matches, I was like, all right, this is going to go on for quite some time. I'm cool with that. However, going into this, I felt like there was just no way that Shinsuke was going to take the win. Like, even watching the match, I didn't even believe for 1 second that he even had a chance. And at this point, I'm looking at things and I'm like, does he, where do we go from here? He has a title shot again, and you already felt like he was not going to take the win. And for quite some time, I've just been feeling like Shinsuke, he just got a contract and he getting paid. Like, what's the payoff with his career in WWE? He's been taking quite a lot of L's since the summer. He's lost majority of his matches since around summertime. And it's like, okay, what's going to happen here? You're going to lose the second time, and then what? Maybe try to go for it the third time. And when we look at the last standing match, it's the match where it's like, after this, no more. Like, there's no other type of stipulation that you can do to really, top a last standing match. So it's definitely the better man taking the win. But anyway, let's get into the details about what happened and how Seth Rollins obviously retained. All right, so here we have Shinsuke and Seth. They're out. And Seth Rollins' jacket looks like a comforter I used to have a few years back. And I'm just looking at him like, these fashions that he's been bringing out lately, it's getting worse. And then he probably has more space in the closet for his stuff compared to Becky. I can definitely see that. Now, right off the bat, Seth brings in a kendo stick, and I'm like, holy shit, he's going to regret that real soon. But we do have Nakamura, who definitely has a game plan. He knows Seth Rollins' back is fucked up, and he is going to play on that all night. And that's exactly what he does. He's doing the smart thing here. And really, I like this version of Shinsuke. Like, he really has this edge to him, and he's so charismatic too, whether it's heel, babyface. I really, really enjoy him in the ring. But like I said, like, not one instance that I feel like he was actually going to win. Now, they do have a lot of spots here. They bring tables, chairs. Shinsuke even brought out some nunchucks, and he is fucking showing off, throwing that shit around or whatever. And I'm just like, holy shit, that's pretty cool. If I did that, I would definitely hit my face. Now, we get them fighting off in the audience, and then they're on the side of the stage. When they go to the side of the stage, they kind of go up the steps a little bit, and Shinsuke, he gives Seth a low blow, and then he pushes him off the steps. Now, when Seth falls, he bounces up, and I'm like, well, what did he fall on? I don't know what it was, a mattress, a bounce house, whatever it is. He bounced up when he fell. Then he rolls down onto the concrete floor. And here is Michael Cole talking about, oh my God, Nakamura throws Seth Rollins onto the floor, the concrete floor. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He literally just bounced off a mattress. Like, did they not think we were not going to see this thing that Seth was going to actually land on? Do they think we're blind and that he actually hit the ground? I just thought it was absolutely funny because it's like, I think they were supposed to come off like he did hit the ground, but the camera probably brought down too low and actually showed what he hit instead, which is that like thing that he bounced off of. It was actually kind of funny to hear Michael Cole making a big deal about it. Now, when Seth rolls onto the ground, he acts like he can't get up. And to be honest, you landing on that little mattress that was there, that was like the best part of the match for you because that was a very soft landing. So now ref is counting. Shinsuke is waiting. He's like, all right, 10 seconds. He's not going to get up. But by the time he counts to 9, here is Seth Rollins standing on his own 2 feet. And I'm like, bro, you didn't hit the ground. You could have gotten up at 1. So now we're near the end of the match, and they have a ladder propped next to the announce table. Now, they're both on it, and it seems like, I don't know, maybe Shinsuke might push Seth Rollins onto it, but instead, he has a mouthful of red mist, and he sprays it onto Seth's face, and then he pushes him. You know how like Scar pushes Mufasa? It was like that. And then Seth Rollins ends up crashing through the table, and Shinsuke is like, I did it this time. He's going to stay down. And no, he didn't. Now, Shinsuke, he is like so furious and he's desperate at this time. And he is like, you know what? I got to do whatever it takes for me to take this win. I want that damn title. Now, they're back to fighting in the audience again. And here we have Seth Rollins end up taking the win with a Falcon Arrow onto a table. I think 2 tables, maybe. It was covered with a cloth, so I'm not 100% sure. Now, I'm like, okay, they're both probably not going to get up. That's what I thought was going to happen. But Shinsuke, he ends up trying to get up but never getting on his 2 feet by the time the ref counts to 10. And let's not get it twisted. Seth Rollins, he barely gets on his 2 feet by the time the ref says 10, but his feet are down, so the ref will take that, and we have Seth Rollins that retains. I really enjoyed this. I think this was match of the night. I really felt like I enjoyed more Shinsuke dark side playing off in this match. But now that the match is over, I'm just like, what now? What do we do with Shinsuke now? You just lost 2 opportunities to win the biggest, let me not say the biggest prize in WWE, the second biggest prize in WWE. Like, what now? Are you going to go against Roman Reigns? I highly doubt that. Now, honestly, he probably should just lay low for a little bit if that's the case. I didn't get a chance to watch all of Raw, so I don't know if they've said anything about that. But this was a really great effort for Shinsuke, and I really, really enjoyed him in this match. And Seth, too, he was great. Now, moving forward, the bloodline thing, I don't know where we're going with it, but ever since SummerSlam, I was like, I'm clocking out. I'm clocking out with this storyline. We don't know where it's going or whatnot. So I'm curious to see what's going to end up happening with that. Also curious to see about Judgment Day 2. I really think it was a mistake for them to take the Undisputed Tag titles away from these 2 guys. I feel like they should have had it for much longer. But anyway, this was a great pay-per-view, about 3 hours long. So if you don't got nothing to do, check it out. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday Night Dynamite. And I'm thinking about reviewing NXT 2 since WWE is desperate and pulling out all the stops. So let's see how well they do with that too. Bye.